The night was still young as I cruised the outskirts of Golden Gate Park. I waited patiently for a ping from the Uber app. I needed the extra cash as I was in danger of being short on my rent. The phone chimed as I looked to see someone on the outer sunset needing a ride. The picture was a blonde woman with a big smile, and I accepted. It said she had 2 passengers, and the pay was decent. I found a spot to make a U-turn and made my way to a small parking lot. I thought nothing of it at first. It seemed like a young couple who were about to have a night in the bay. It was curious though. I could see the woman dragging a man with black hair towards the car. She dragged him by a thick, leather leash attached to an even thicker collar. I had witnessed lots of things in the city, but even this was new to me. The car door opened and I asked, "Lisa?" "Yes, that's me," she replied as she sat in the back seat. I looked at the man who stood outside. He looked hesitant to get in the car. She tugged on her leash with impatience. "Get in here, Henry." "Is he okay?" "He's fine. My husband just seems a little out of it tonight," she replied. The man sat in the car slowly and seemed to be staring into space. I know it can be wise to wear layers when in the city, but the man was wearing a rather large hoodie that was much too thick for an August night, even for here. "So, we're going to Tenderloin, right?" "Yes, if we can get there as quickly as possible, that would be great. I was having trouble with my car, and we can't be late." "All right, well, let's get moving," I said, while I looked in the rearview mirror to make sure the 2 were buckled in. I noticed the man's collar was very tight around his neck. I could see the red marks on his skin. The dark brown leather was strange, as it had symbols embossed on it. I'd never seen anything like it. I didn't think much of it though. I was more concerned by how tight it was, and how it looked like there may have been a struggle to put it on him. The woman noticed I was looking at it too. She frowned and asked, "So, are you going to drive or not?" We hit the road and headed towards the destination. We drove in silence as I tried my best not to look back at the 2. I did notice that the man called Henry started to look puzzled as he stared out the window. "Is everything okay back there?" I inquired. "Everything is fine," Lisa remarked. "Where are you taking me?" Henry asked with a strange tone to his voice. It was monotone and sounded like he was half asleep. The woman scowled at him and tapped him on the chest, signaling for him to be quiet. It was clear who was the dominant personality in the relationship, but I still found it quite odd. "You know where we're going, Henry. I told you several times." "You told me you were taking me to the temple." "No, I told you we were going to a party, Henry," Lisa replied as she looked frustrated. I looked back in the mirror to see the man had a look of worry in his eyes. I felt like something was wrong with this woman. It seemed like the man was out of it. I started to think that he was on drugs. "What kind of party?" I asked as I looked at the woman who frowned. She didn't like me asking questions. I could see it in her eyes. She was trying to think of what to say. "Like, is it a costume party? Does it matter?" "I'm just trying to make conversation, sorry." "I want to know what kind of party it is," Henry mumbled as he turned to look at me. The woman grabbed his leash and then tugged on it hard. I could hear as he struggled for air and coughed. It was aggressive and showed a flash of anger. The sight of it made me uncomfortable. "It's a sex party," she answered while she loosened the grip on the leash. Henry coughed, then smiled a little bit. I curled my eyebrows as I looked at the two in the back. "That's why he's wearing a collar, because he likes it." "Whatever floats your boat. I'm not one to judge." An awkward silence fell in the car. I continued to drive to the location as Henry continued to keep his eyes locked on me in the mirror. He tugged on his collar and said, "She is lying to you, because she is planning on killing me." Lisa tugged on the leash and growled, "Shut up, Henry. Stop joking around. This isn't funny, and you are going to freak the poor man out." "Are you in danger, dude?" "I am, because this woman is not my wife." "Don't listen to him. He likes to make people uncomfortable for his entertainment," Lisa said. "Then why don't you show him what's in your pocket?" "Listen, I don't want any trouble. I don't want to see what she has." "She has a weapon in her pocket. She has a weapon in her pocket," Henry said as he lifted his hooded shirt to show a cut across his stomach that had been recently stitched and burned shut. It explained why he was so out of it. The man had to be miserable with pain. "She used it on me earlier and put this collar on me." "Shut up," Lisa yelled. "Oh Christ, dude. Do you need to go to the ER? "I just want you to get me away from this woman and take this collar off," Henry pleaded. I started to hit the brakes, but then I felt something cold along my neck. I looked down to see the blade against my throat. "Keep driving, or I'll have to kill you," Lisa growled, as I could feel it pressing against my skin. I lifted my foot off the brake and began to accelerate again. I could feel my hands tremble on the wheel. All right, just don't hurt me." "Then just keep driving, and you might live to see another day." "I have a thought," Henry grumbled. "Shut the hell up," Lisa yelled back. "Yeah, let's just do what she says." "How about you hit the brakes hard?" Henry replied as he looked out the window. "I don't see much traffic, so just trust me." "Don't listen to him." "If you want to live, I would do it now," Henry responded. I watched as he lunged at the woman and startled me enough that I slammed on the brakes. Then I fell into my lap and I caught a glimpse of the weird jagged blade. It had the same symbols as the collar. The car screeched to a halt and I heard Henry shout, "Take the collar off now." "I am begging you, don't listen to him," Lisa pleaded as I turned awkwardly to see he had her pinned down. I reached in the back and realized it was my chance. I took the collar off from Henry and heard a growl that sounded like a wild animal. He smiled as he plunged his hands inside her captor's chest. The blood sprayed, hitting the interior and the window. "That's much better," Henry remarked. I sat in my back seat, taking a glance at the mirror. Henry smiled back at me and exited the car. He walked around the window, tapping it lightly. I rolled it down in shock. "Thank you." I thought for a moment I was nearly done. "Henry, do we need to call the police?" I asked nervously. "I don't go by that name anymore. You can call me the Legion." Okay," I responded as I watched him reach into his back pocket. I started to become nervous again. I thought I would die that night. He could see the fear in his face, to which he smiled back at me. Are you going to kill me? No, I owe you. You saved my life, Henry answered, as he grabbed my hand and placed cash in it. I looked to see a few $100s. That should pay for the cleanup, and a little more. What the hell are you? I am a demon that will end the world. But don't look so scared. At least I tipped.